Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts, and today we're talking about Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba episode 9, simply titled Tamari Demon and Arrow Demon. Also want to quickly once again apologize for the lateness in this video. It's been a little bit hectic and my life in June is basically going to be very hectic, so I won't continue to apologize for videos being late. Just know in the future maybe things might get a little chaotic. A video might be late by like a day or two. So for that, in the future, I apologize, and I apologize for this as well, but this will be the last time I apologize for that, so the beginning of every video isn't just me saying I'm sorry. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just dive into this episode, starting with a quick reminder to my boy Tanjiro that, hey man, you gotta use that training to your advantage. Remember, Tanjiro, if you can dodge a giant log, you can dodge a ball. You got this. Even though Yushiro has to tell him, like, hey man, just as a heads up. Like, that's the one thing about the episode, is there's a lot of, like, talky-talky, as opposed to just showing things. Like, when Yushiro has to be like, these two demons are much tougher than any demon you face like in the past. Like, these are currently the most powerful demons you've ever faced. And it's like, yes, Yushiro, we could kind of see that. And so it's a little bit of like show don't tell. I already believed that these two were stronger than any demon he's faced before. Didn't need to say it out loud, but I do appreciate that the episode does show just how strong these two are. These two from the, what was it, the 12 moons of whatever, like the demons of the 12 moon or whatever their little clique is called. Basically all the demons that serve directly under Muzan, who we don't get to see in this episode, which is a little bit of a bummer because Muzan is the coolest. So I'm a little bummed that we didn't get to see him, but still, these two from the 12 moons are perfectly suited for this episode, because they bring the thunder, if you know what I'm saying. Hell, just in sheer spectacle alone, the Tamari demon throwing around those Tamari balls, whatever you call them, the Tamari, just flinging them into the house. It was like the show, that plus those arrows, the show has such a unique an interesting look to it, something that I don't see from any other show currently. It just looks so different, and I friggin' love it for that. The aesthetic of the show is so unique to itself. It's the best way I can describe it is almost like comic booky, like just the way that they do things. Like the whole show has a very, I shouldn't say comic booky, I guess just manga feel to it. Like it really feels like art coming to life, like with the way the arrows move, with the way the Tamari moves, with all of Tanjiro's like techniques where the water comes out and it looks like a painting. That's just the best way I can describe it, is it's art, quote unquote, come to life. Not, I know that anime is art, but like I'm just saying, like, so it's already art coming to life, but you know what I mean when I say that. It's just a very unique look to this show. Speaking of those Tamari though, oh my goodness, I did not see any of that coming. Yushiro, I thought he died. I thought he died there. I genuinely thought the Tamari killed him, because those Tamari are less Tamari and more just bludgers from Harry Potter. But yeah, I actually thought he was dead, and I did not see that come. I didn't see it coming. But yeah, like it really freaked me out. And then, you know, after that, I was freaked out all the more when I remembered, oh, right, yeah, Yushiro's a demon, so he should be fine. He should be able to survive that. And then when they showed him surviving that and regenerating, I was like, oh, yeah, see, he's all right. He's perfectly fine. Also, ew. It's just a gross effect. I mean, it was dope, but it was like, ew. Nasty. Ooh, nasty. And can I just point out that once again, my duo is ready to whoop some tail. I love seeing these two work together, although we don't necessarily see them like working in tandem. We do see Tanjiro and Nezuko going up against two other demons, along with help from, of course, Tamayo and Yushiro. So like it's like 4 versus 2, but in this case the 2 are more than capable of taking on the 4. But I do like that we get to see Tanjiro and Nezuko working together again. I think they make for a really solid, like, action-packed duo. And I do think it's interesting at the end of the episode. Sorry, I'm jumping around a lot in this review, by the way. But I do think it's interesting to note that the two demons that we see from the 12 moons only met that night. So I find that kind of interesting, the idea that like the trust that Nezuko and Tanjiro, as well as Tamayo and Yushiro, have is giving them an edge against these two demons who really only met each other tonight. Like if they had already built a connection, And like that's so like if they had already built a connection prior to this fight, those two demons from the 12th moon maybe would have had a better idea on how to better utilize the other strengths, and maybe it would have been an even tougher fight. It's interesting to think about, and I like that they added that at the end. It's a clever touch. Nezuko in particular, her side of the fight, I haven't seen her get hurt that bad, where like the leg gets blown off. Like that was pretty brutal. And like whenever something bad happens to Nezuko, I just get upset because she's my girl. But I do want to point out that I think Nezuko's perception is really interesting, and I hope we kind of get more into that, because what must she be thinking? Like when she sees because Urokodake like tried to like instill in her like any human is your family. So she sees her family in these humans. So to her, like, what must the daily grind be like for Nezuko? Like, what does she see? Not so much what does she see, but what does she think is happening? Like, Nezuko, not only in her personality, but like Nezuko is a puppy when you think about it. Like, she's just like what she must not be thinking about very much. It must just be, this is my family, protect family. Like, that's just like straight up puppy. I don't know, it's interesting. I would like to get more into Nezuko's head, figure out what she's thinking, if she's thinking anything beyond, like I said, just this is family, protect family. But it wasn't just Nezuko and Tanjiro kicking butt. We do get to see Tamayo's like nursing skills actually come into good use, like in helping Nezuko, as well as we find out that Yushiro is quite the ninja when he wants to be. But yeah, of course he's no match for the other two demons. At least I don't think so, because the last time we see him, he was whooping tail on the Tamari demon pretty hard. Like, he can be quite the ninja, like just very sneaky, like go invisible, and then actually be pretty brutal with hand to hand. Like, so yeah, I think in another life Yushiro was a ninja. And I loved their little like the moment where Tamayo's reaction to Yushiro being like, we should like totally split. We can leave them right now. Like, they won't even notice we're gone. I was like, come on. And he's like, I was totally kidding. Totally joking. Like, he was not joking. The last thing I want to touch on quickly here is, yay, color psychology. I haven't gotten to talk about color psychology or color theory, whatever you want to call it, in a while. And I meant to do so in the last JoJo's video, and I didn't. And nobody noticed, but I did, and I felt kind of bad about that because there are some cool colors that I didn't get to talk about in that episode. But I'm going to talk about them here. Now, we don't necessarily get color swaps like we do in JoJo's, but we did get introduced to two new characters, and I thought it might be interesting to kind of dive into what the colors tell us about those characters, what their designs tell us about those characters, as well as just, you know, their personalities in general, because I do have thoughts. First, let's go ahead and talk about the Arrow Demon, whose abilities are way OP when you think about it, but the Arrow Demon's colors are yellow and black. Now, the black I won't get into until we've talked about both. Now, the yellow in his outfit sort of paints him as the sort of wise and logical character, like very logical in the way he holds himself and the way that he fights. But it also kind of paints him as a bit impatient and judgy, and of course, as with anything's yellow, a little bit cowardly. And we do see that in his actions, especially the cowardly bit. He's more interested in sort of letting the Tamari demon, and apologies, I don't remember their names, but he's more interested in letting the Tamari demon fight like in the front lines while he's sort of in the back. It's only once he gets dragged out by Nezuko that he's forced to be on the front lines, but he was more interested in using his abilities more logically than just like running and gunning and getting in the midst of the fight. He's a bit more cowardly, a bit more logical in the way that he fights, and I do think that's interesting. And yeah, like I said, his color psychology actually shows in his character. And then there's the Tamari demon, who was my personal favorite character in the episode. She was insane, and I already like her, but I'm assuming she's gonna die, so I'm not too attached. So her colors would be orange and black. Orange is in fact the new black, so that works out. Ugh, sorry, that pun was terrible. I don't even like that show, but orange does paint her as a cheerful risk taker, but also being overbearing and arrogant. And we absolutely see that in the way she fights. She is brave to the point of being kind of an idiot in the way that she fights. Like, she just assumes like, well, I have more arms, I'm like the TN of the group, so I should be fine. I definitely appreciate that the way she fights is definitely shown in the orange. Like, it's a sort of like vibrant, like excitable color. And you definitely see that in her, not only the way she fights, but in her, like, the way she speaks, the way she holds herself. She is orange personified, very overbearing, a little bit obnoxious, but like very much energetic and hype. Now, as for the black in both of their color schemes, this could be meant to sort of unify the pair, having a similar color, as well as just unifying them under the 12 moons, as it's sort of a way to kind of hide the group in mystery and secrecy, since black is sort of like a mysterious color. And, you know, it's a unifying color. It makes sense. But yeah, everybody, that's basically all my thoughts on the episode. Actually, quick little additional, the song that was playing during the Tanjiro and Arrow Demon fight was really dope, sort of had a Castlevania atmosphere, but yeah, other than that, that should be basically all my thoughts on the episode. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you did, then by all means go ahead and hit that like button and share the video around on the internet. That'd be super rad of you. And if you'd like to stick around and see more from me, then by all means go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join the good ones. And as always, before we go, I gotta give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Dominic, Urza, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Omner Garamond, Opinionated Slime, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Tristan, and Verdon. If you too would like to help us out over on Patreon, that would be super appreciated. Go ahead and check out the first link in the description. Go check out all the cool rewards you can get, which tier you want to join if you do consider joining. That'd be super appreciated. It would really help me out a ton. But with that said, everybody, I'm going to take off. So until our next meeting, stay rad and don't scary.